This is the High Desert Tarotist, and today I think we will be going down the path of a love reading. I don't really know where this is going, but I just felt like this was the reading that wanted to come out today. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I am a new channel, so if you like this and you like tarot, please consider subscribing below. Before I get started, I have two things. I am getting over a cold, so I'm still kind of congested. I'm not sure if that's going to come through on the camera. And the other thing is I want to give like a brief disclaimer before I begin about love reading. So I'm always weary to do love readings with tarot. I really see tarot as a way to help guide us on maybe where we're at, give us advice. I really believe in like the psychological life circumstance basis that the tarot cards hold, and I really see them as a way to tell a story or maybe give some advice, but I always feel like I come from a place where it's very about the person who's asking. So when we're asking about love, we're always asking about another person. We're trying to figure out their intentions, what they may do or not do, and this is where I start to get a little weary with doing general love readings, because ultimately I don't know your situation, I don't know the person you're thinking about, and I don't want to give you false hope, nor do I want to steer you down the wrong path. So that being said, I know love readings can be fun. I think most of us want to know about love in one form or another. I'm definitely that type of person as well. I'm like a lover, so I get that. Like some of us just really like having that in our lives. But I guess I ask that I want you just to be aware that this love reading is going to come from a place of thinking about a healthy connection. So I cannot read love advice for a situation that might be toxic or abusive, that might have a partner that hasn't been treating you well. I mean, if those kind of things are happening, I hope that you are taking good care of yourself. But I'm going to read from the position of two people that are pretty much healthy, they've got their stuff together, and that you are really just asking about the connection, but there's nothing under the surface that I don't know about that might be causing you harm or the person harm. All right, so what we're going to do first is we're going to get a few clarifier questions. I am going to be using the Light Seer Tarot today. It's a very beautiful deck. And to get started, I'm going to pull a couple cards so we can kind of figure out who is this reading for. Yeah, we'll definitely be doing it under the guise of love. So let's see. So who is this love reading for today? I kind of feel like this is for the singles, but we'll see. Who is this reading for? Whoa. So I'm going to take these cards because we have the Wheel of Fortune and the Three of Pentacles. We also have the Page of Wands and the Nine of Wands. I kind of think that this reading is for a person that is actually kind of coming out on the other side of change. I think you might have been through some change in your life, something probably significant. You might have been really growing and learning mostly about yourself. It's almost like you're leveling up in a way. And now you're kind of looking ahead to new experiences, new opportunities, new change. I do see that like most of these people are single. In the cards, they're alone. So yeah, I do feel like this is going to be a singles reading. I felt that when I came in. But I feel like you have this hope of like success in the future, love in the future, kind of reaching those goals you have for yourself. So if this sounds like you, if you've kind of come out on the other side of some struggle and you're really ready, it's almost like you're the person that finally feels like you are ready to open up yourself to love, to accept what life has to offer you, and you're just ready to embrace love, embrace life, and embrace something really wonderful coming in. You're kind of ready to embrace the next stage of your life. So if that sounds like you, I believe this is your reading. And other thing I like to feel about love readings is that sometimes, like, I'm a firm believer that the most important love is self-love. If you do not fully love yourself, if you cannot fully be with yourself, spend time with yourself, truly know yourself, then it's really hard to fully love another, accept another's love in return. And then also I do kind of think the truth that sometimes you then begin to attract people in your life that really don't see you for who you are because you don't see you for who you are. And so I feel like with those cards we just pulled, it's kind of, you're at the point where you're actually there now. Like you actually understand your worth. You actually understand what you have to offer, what you have to bring to the table. So you're almost in a better state than you were even like 4 to 6 months ago. So what do we have for you? And I don't really feel like this is particularly for a certain gender. I think this is, you know, if you're here and you found me and this resonates with you so far, I think it's your reading, or there's something that you can definitely take away from. So we're going to pull a few cards. It's funny because none of them are falling out, which I'm like, not quite in the order they want to be in. Oh, here we go. Okay, so we have the Empress. Yeah, you're definitely on a path towards like the next level, right? So the Empress for me is always like that kind of that symbol of ultimate femininity. There's like strength and power and being soft. I feel like you're just someone that has recently spent a lot of time being alone and really getting to know yourself, and you really have a better understanding of your power in your life and how your choices have affected situations in your life. And it's almost like you're like, I think you've gotten to the point where you realize and understand that, yeah, you do deserve good things and you do hold immense power within you. You do have the ability to bring warmth and love and compassion and understanding to the people that come into your life, and you're not afraid of that anymore. And you don't really need to, I want to say settle, but it's not like settling for another person. It's almost like you settled for a lower version of yourself, and now you realize that, no, actually, I don't need to do that. I don't need to dim my shine, and I want to reach my full potential in life, and I'm ready for it. So yes, the Empress is a great, I think, way to symbolize who you are now with kind of changes you've been through. Makes me kind of think the Wheel of Fortune that showed up earlier might have been that you had a change of fortune to maybe a bad place for a while, but through that has come this beauty and this growth. I'm going to take this one. We have the Ace of Swords. We have the Six of Cups in reverse. I don't always take reverses, but I think I will. Okay, so we have the Three of Swords, the Nine of Pentacles. I'm going to take one more. The Nine of Cups. So I don't really see another person right now, but like I say, what I'm seeing very strongly so far with this reading is that sense that you've been through some heartbreaks, some challenges. You've kind of been in a state where you've actually been more to yourself. You've had like this promise or potential of action or things that could come together, but for some reason it seems like it was almost like you were kind of stuck in a situation where you were holding on to something that you really wanted, and unfortunately it really didn't serve you well, and I think at some point you had to choose to walk away from it. It was almost like you had memories. So the Six of Cups is always like, for me, that card of reminiscing, of memories, of kind of assessing where you're at in the moment, but to see it in reverse just makes me feel like maybe those things that you were thinking of weren't that great. Or the more that you took time for yourself, the more you realized that the truth of the situation, I just keep hearing you deserve better. I feel like whatever it was, you deserved better. And in some way you knew that. And it was almost like you knew that, I mean, I feel like there was that potential here, but just something was not 100% working out for you. However, I think that you are someone that might be forward thinking and always looking ahead, right? So we have the Nine of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups. So these are kind of like the wish fulfillment cards, and like the nines. You're kind of at the end of your journey at that point, and it's almost like you have that wish fulfillment for like the things you created in your personal life, your private life, your emotional life. I think that your view and hope for what a relationship and another person can bring to your life is, before, it's almost like you tried to mold the person that came in to fit this ideal, but it really just led to heartbreak or confusion over and over. And I feel like that might have to do with your transformation, is that you realize that you have to put the ideal and the hope for what you want for yourself to reach your full potential in life. And if you want to reach your full potential life in another person, they've got to meet you. If someone else is not meeting you halfway, no matter how much potential they have, you're never going to get anywhere. You're just going to waste time, right? So I think that at some point you've realized that, and I think part of this change or this that you've been through the past few months is you now know and understand that you can't mold a person to try to fit to your ideal of what you want, because if you do, you're going to continue to be kind of stuck, or you're going to continue to get heartbreak. You're going to continue to be kind of stuck in the potential space of things and never move forward to the actuality of things coming together in your life. So what I'm trying to say is you have decided that the thing that you want, that relationship, that love, the way you envision it, that's actually what you put on a pedestal now. Because I think now you understand that the choices you make are really kind of keeping you in this situation, right? And you do play a role, but if someone else is going to come into your life, you're not going to drop down your ideals to try to wrap around them. No, they're going to have to prove that they match what you want. So it's almost like you're making boundaries, you're setting ideals, and you're not afraid to know that the love that you want in your life has to be higher than the people that come in. You don't have to wrap your ideals or values around another person. Another person needs to prove I don't want to say they need to prove themselves to you. I don't necessarily know if I believe that people have to prove themselves to each other, but I guess in a way we do. I think if you're someone that's used to pushing yourself aside sometimes to kind of adapt to another person, I think that what's coming ahead for you in love is really, for you, the biggest message here is you're taking a new approach to relationships, and that approach is going to be more personal centered, where again, I think you fully know and understand now what you bring to the table, and you're not afraid to shine. And I don't think you're afraid to be alone, to be honest. I think you're kind of at the point now where you're reveling being alone. And again, I think you've created wonderful things in your life. I do feel like where you're at right now, you do have stability in your life. And it's something that I think that you've created that nobody can take away. So that for me feels, and again, if that sounds like you, then yeah, this is probably your reading. If it doesn't sound like you, this might not be your reading. This is really who I'm picking up on. I just see this image of someone who is they got their stuff together. They have a pretty complete life. They get up, they go to work, they do things they love. They have people that they love. I see someone who's very well-rounded, that completely has not been afraid to struggle through the muck to get where they're at now. And I think because of that, this is kind of why you're at that leveled up space where you're now ready to have someone else come in and share life with you. Because there's multiple ways to accept a relationship in your life. I think sometimes we cling on to people, or we want a relationship because we don't want to be alone, but that doesn't always lead to making the best choices. Feel this personally, and I think that this is awareness that you've had, is that there's something very different about being romantically involved with someone when it's not coming from a place of need or desperation or or feeling lost, but it's coming from a place of this realization that I fully know, love, understand, and care about the person that I am. I feel like I'm in a position where I can let someone, and I really just want someone to come in and enhance my life, make my life better, bring happiness and peace and joy to my days, and just enhance and enjoy life. It's a very different feel to be with someone where you just get to enjoy life. You guys kind of enhance each other, than it is to be in a situation with someone where either you're bringing yourself down to kind of meet them where they're at, and they might just be so far away from the ideal that you hold, or you're just lonely. I mean, sometimes the best thing to do when you're lonely is to sit in your loneliness. I am a big proponent of that. So I feel like this is a very positive reading for you guys. I really feel like this is someone that's single right now, but I do think that there's hope. I just feel hope for your summer and the next few months to come. Feeling so we have 6s and 9s and 3s, because the Emperor is a 3. These are all 3, 6, 9, right? I'm feeling sometime between June and September is a time frame. Sorry, I had to pause because I was what am I really seeing here with the pattern? I'm feeling I feel for you the worst is over, dare I say, and I think that, yeah, sometime between June or September, you might things are going to pick up for you a little. Let's get some clarifier cards. I think I'm going to grab a different deck. I think I'll just go for the old school Rider-Waite deck. I want to get some clarifier cards on basically maybe there's a next step you have to do. especially with the Ace of Swords, because the Ace of Swords is kind of that card that you've come out of conflict and we're moving. So yeah, I mean, again, it's like you've come out of conflict, you went through a hard time, but it was almost like it had to happen because it made you your complete self. I don't know, whoa. Let's see, I want to clarify what might have been some of the conflict, or you might still be in that place where you're moving towards, but you're not quite there yet. Well, I'm going to take that card that fell. So we have the Five of Swords. Yeah, I had asked for a clarifier card on the Ace of Swords, and we got the Five of Swords, which is pretty interesting. So fives are usually about conflict or struggle, something that didn't quite go the way we wanted. And it always comes out of that stability that we had with the fours, right? So something happened. And I think that I kind of feel like you might have been involved with someone, or again, there was like that potential, but it either didn't work out the way you wanted, or you might have felt, I don't want to say you felt backstabbed, but maybe you felt like disillusioned might be the right word here. That you had hopes for something, but it was like, and I think I said this earlier, but it was almost like for some of you, you may have had to choose to walk away or turn your back on something, even though you didn't want to. My guess is you might have found that when you think about this person, instead of having positive or good thoughts, you might have found that you actually feel a lot of desperation, confusion, you might have been unsure, you didn't know where you stood, and I think that might have been almost like you had to say, okay, well, what do I really want? Is this really what I want? And when I think about the person that I'm involved in, do I want to feel this way, or do I want to feel this way, right? It's like we can feel this way. This is like that card of loss, hurt, betrayal. I mean, she's obviously in anguish. Her heart is broken. It's gloom. And there is people that will come in your life and they will turn you upside down. They will make you feel this way. And then there's other people who make you feel like you're on top of the world. Like you think about them and you feel happy and positive. You feel strong in yourself. You feel like you can be yourself even though you're with them, because you have freedom in the connection, right? It's love. It's good. It's like happy. So I think for all of us, it's always a good idea, and I've actually heard this advice with love, is that you shouldn't look at how you feel about the person. You should focus on how the person makes you feel, because you may really love and care and try for a person, but if all that you're getting back is feelings of confusion, isolation, if you're crying, if you're worried, if you never feel like you can get to know them, if you feel like they don't see you, then I mean, what's the point, right? You deserve, and I think you now know that you deserve, when you think about a person that you like, that they give you those feelings of, I feel happy when I think about this person, I feel together, I feel like there's hope here, I feel like it's in line with what I want. And that's a very different way to feel with another person. And I think that is coming out so strong in this reading. And I think that for some of you, you might have gotten to the point where you're like, you know what? As much as like, I'm dealing with this, I want this, so I'm out. Peace. Like, this isn't working for me. And that is really too with the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords is kind of a card of recognizing your limitations, right? Recognizing what's the reality so you can make a better choice. And I really feel like you saw the potential of something, but in order to get to that, like move past the conflict that was going on, I think you just had to be truthful with yourself. And like I said, you had to decide, am I going to put this one person or this one situation above everything else and wrap myself around it? Or am I going to keep that image of that relationship that I truly want as high, and then make sure that the person I let in my life can rise up, right? So there's, again, very, very different energy. Okay, we're going to get what's coming next here. Let's go ahead. And I did say between June and September. So I want to focus on that time frame. I think we'll get a card for each month. How many months is that? June, July, August, and September. So we're going to pull some of those and maybe get some advice for what you can expect in the next few months. Is there someone coming in? Is it going to be more about growth, or is there something else that's going to come along? Okay, this came out right away. So we have the Four of Cups for June. I like the Four of Cups because I know some people see it as the card of boredom, but I always see it as like hope is not lost. So that might be. So perhaps, you got the Fool. That's really great. So you have June, July. Let's get two more. Whoop, August came flying out. Five of Pentacles. And September. And remember, we're thinking in regards to love. So I know the pentacles can sometimes mean some health things, some finance things, but we're going to look at it from the perspective of love. And also it's a minor arcana, and the Fool here is so far a major one. So I think the biggest thing is kind of stepping into a new you. I'm going to cut this. Okay. And then we have September. Taking 1 month at a time. So in June, I feel like, again, the Four of Cups can be read different ways. You can read it from the guise of feeling bored. You might be bored with the situation. You might be feeling stagnant. I don't feel that. I think that's something that just doesn't really fit this reading. I do see this as the card of hope. So if you always look like he's kind of wrapped up in himself here, but he's being offered, right, a cup, and the cups are emotions. They're usually the sign of relationships and love. And that's what we're asking about here, right? So I like that it's kind of paired with the Fool. I feel for you that, yeah, hope is not lost. You might be kind of at a point now where you wonder, like, will I ever get this? Will anyone ever really see me for who I truly am? Am I ever going to kind of have that stability in a relationship that I want? I think there will be something in June that gives you some hope. So hope is not lost. I think that's going to be your theme of June. And so pay attention. And it might not be that someone particularly comes in, but it may be other things. You might just be around more, that people may reinforce a lot of the things you've been learning in June. You might find people that are kind of acknowledging, like, wow, you've really transformed, you've changed, you're so strong, I really love, maybe you'll get more people that tell you that they do care about you, that they do love you. So you're going to kind of see that, like, you're actually not alone and things aren't stagnant, that things are beginning to move. And yeah, there is hope there. And I believe that hope is going to come in July. So we have the Fool here. So we have our Fool getting ready to go off in a new adventure. We are naive, right? So something new, something fresh. So I think whatever comes out of this for you, you're going to have a new opportunity. It could be a new person that comes in your life. It could be you deciding to take a trip, or maybe decide, like, okay, this is going to be the summer of me. I'm just going to see what it feels like if I just 100% fully live in my life by myself. Where will that journey take me? So there's just, like, I think there's a lot of happiness and brightness. It looks like you're going to get the inklings of it in June, but it's going to really come to fruition in July. And then August, we do have the Five of Pentacles. So the Five of Pentacles can be a hard card, and I want to get a clarifier card for that. I guess what I kind of wonder, for me, what I'm feeling offhand is that you might have, so again, I feel like something is gonna come around in June, but it kind of makes me wonder if you're gonna get scared yourself. You might be like, no way, this is too good to be true, or what am I doing? So you might actually close yourself off a little to things, or feel like, it's almost like your old patterns might creep in July, and that's in August, and it's something that you have to tend to. But let's get a clarifier card. Clarify the Five of Pentacles in August. Okay, that's way too many. That was just me dropping them. Clarify the Five of Pentacles in August. I feel like I need a different deck. I'm like shuffling this deck and it's not happening. I'm gonna grab another one real quick. I'm going to grab my all-time favorite deck. This is the Mythic Tarot deck. I don't really see this one used. This is actually the first deck I ever learned to read tarot with. When I was like 14, I got this deck. So this one is just very well loved. Please clarify the Five of Pentacles. Is this something that's happening? I really think it's something that's happening within you. Okay, Queen of Cups. Yeah. That's what I thought. So we have the Queen of Cups, right? The Queen of Cups is more about emotions, about sensuality, about making things happen in that sense. And I just think that what's going to happen for you in August might be, I'm feeling like you're going to enter a phase of self-doubt. Now, my guess is it's going to come out of, like I said, there seems to be like some good things occurring for you in June and July. And I'm just feeling like old patterns die hard here, right? We are sometimes, we're stuck in our ways. And I think that you're going to have to figure out how to control your emotions. My guess is you're blocking yourself off from what's occurring, or you're suddenly not believing it to be real, or you might be getting really stuck in your own emotions and your own head. And because of that, you're not really seeing what's been brought into your life. So in some ways, I think for some of you, and you do have like the wish fulfillment card here, It's almost like I think you're used to struggling for quite a while now, that I think by the time I get to August, it might be hard for you to believe that there is this good thing in your life and you're kind of pushing it away. But you have to manage your emotions basically. And part of that might be just taking time, taking space, because there's a lot of newness and change, and you yourself have changed. And, maybe you're just having a moment where you need to retreat a little. I also wonder if a person has come in your life in July or things are changing, it's almost like you're just having to deal with old feelings, old wounds are coming up. But in September here, we go to the Two of Pentacles, which is about balancing. And I feel like you're going to figure out how to balance the old and the new by the time September comes. And you're going to be able to move forward. And so I think that this is not going to be a very long-standing situation. I think it's going to be a natural outgrowth. You've been through to this point, what you're hoping for. Like I said, I think you've leveled up. I think you're coming, I don't see how I word this. I feel like you're almost taking yourself more seriously than you ever have before, and that you fully have gotten to the point where you understand now and know that you deserve good things. Like that's just, it is what it is. I think you're probably a very caring, compassionate, loving, open person. I think you give this to others, and part of that might be why you've suffered a little bit, because you almost gave too much. It's kind of like your time now to focus on yourself. You may be someone that really is always there to help other people, that usually focuses on you don't like focus all your energy on other people. You may be in a profession where you deal with people. I know most of our professions are professions where we deal with people in some form or another, but you might have a very direct role in your career or what you're going to school for that is to deal with people. I think it's probably part of your nature to be giving and loving, for people to feel open to you, but sometimes I think you give and then you end up a little drained and lost. And my guess is that by August, you realize you're falling into that type of pattern now, and then you almost stop yourself like, well, I don't want to feel this way anymore. I've already been through all this. Let me stop, let me regroup, let me take a minute. And then by September, I think you're going to find a way to balance these sides of yourself so that you're just more of you're happier, you still feel grounded, and kind of like what I was saying earlier, you're still able to be free, to be yourself, to be that person you've become, but you've kind of figured out how to balance that with letting other people or another specific person in your life in a way that is balanced, healthy, and still allows for freedom of individuality within the connection. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get a message card. I'm going to use the Moonology Oracle deck. And this is really going to focus on where are we at right now and just get some kind of guidance. So where can this person, what kind of guidance can we give this person as they move towards a stronger, more stable version of themselves and continue to want and hope for their life to be what they envision it could be? Right? As we continue to move through our emotions, through our feelings, we're kind of out with the old and with the new here. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a brand new person. It might be an old connection that might come back, right? I don't see, but let's see. What kind of advice can we give? Okay, I just felt like, oh, that's perfect. A new romantic cycle begins. Again, we kind of talked about this. I think you are heading towards a good cycle with love and romance. And I think a lot of that, again, is because it's like you finally realize that who you are is important, what you want is important, and your life is just as valuable and worthy and as other people that you have maybe given too much of yourself for in the past. And because of that, you're different, right? You're going to move different in the world and you're going to attract different things. This is also a card about reaching out to somebody and letting them know that you care. So if there was a person and you just had to take space from, perhaps by June or July, you're going to be able to reach back out to them, and maybe you you guys, this might be, you know, in that situation that you guys are able to work through the things and find some balance within each other. So this card is really about love and harmony. It could signal for sure a new relationship. Also, it says a romantic cycle. So we have like relationships, we have marriage, we have children. So something new and different, an engagement, right? So I'm not saying that you're going to get engaged, but if you're in a relationship with someone and this has been resonating with you, it might mean you're moving to the next level. But I definitely see a positive change for you. However, I do think the most important thing here is that it's only going to come after you do right by yourself, I guess is what I think. The takeaway here is do right by yourself. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to ask for the best in life. Don't be afraid to dream and hope for kind of the ideal of what you want. Just put it out there. That's what you want. This is how you see your life. This is what will make you happy. Don't be afraid to like say what'll make you happy. Don't be afraid to move towards it and, you know, do the work you need to do to keep your mental clear, to keep yourself stable. All right, you guys, I think that's pretty much it for this reading. If you connected with it, please let me know. And again, I am a new channel, so please consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.